Hello, hello, everybody. I hope every I hope everybody's doing well. I'm sorry I don't get on here as often. I've been doing TikTok because TikTok is so easy and so quick. You know, um, it doesn't have the well, I guess if you work it right, you you can do some things on TikTok, but it's just easy and quick. But I think YouTube is just gonna be the thing. So hopefully people can join me. It's kind of a day that a lot of people um, stream, and maybe a time I was trying to my East Coast friends. I was trying to keep them in mind when I set this up because it's only like 4 o'clock here in Cali, but I just wanted to. I need to upload more here, build this platform up more. But I hope everybody is doing well. It was cold this morning. It was in the 50s. I had to turn the heat on, and I think now it's probably in the 70s. Might even be 80. But that's Cali for you. And there's no, they don't have four seasons down in LA. So, but I wanted to talk about 50 Cent and his son. I know I'm late, but I wanted to get. I'll do topics kind of late because I want to get all the facts because I've done that before where I made conclusions before I had all of the facts. And um, then I got my foot in my mouth because I didn't have all the facts, or at least from the perspective of everybody that's involved. So I've been watching this feud between him and his son. And hey, Sheed, um, I'm gonna put the link in just in case anybody wants to come up. It's more interesting when you have guests. But I wanted to put my 2 cent in on this 50 Cent drama with his son. And and I I'm somewhere in the middle. Oh, here we go. Oh, Sheed. Thanks for coming up, Sheed. Hey man.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, cool. How's the family?
Everybody's doing good. The wife and kids are
Good.
good.
What's
Yeah.
the weather like down there with you?
It's starting to get chilly down here now. It's not
Okay.
that cold, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still gotta wear a jacket.
I like Georgia. Georgia's pretty. I've
Yeah.
driven some of the back country back there. I like to do road trips, and it's pretty. Do you get snow up in the north, or uh, is it all just regular 4 seasons?
Now you get snow up there in the north. You you don't get that much snow down in Atlanta, but like North Georgia, they get snow like Blue Ridge, up there where they have the cabins and stuff at. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you get a lot of snow up there.
Oh, okay, cool. So some
Yep.
places y'all do have all 4 seasons. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at where I want to buy property and kind of settle down. And Georgia was on the list, South Georgia.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, some of those little towns down there, little quiet little towns. People, I spoke to some people in Albany. They it did, talk to them, and they're very nice people. Everybody I called on business, they were very nice people, hospitable
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
so my topic for now, I'm talking about Mr. 50 Cent and his son, and we just wanted to chime in on my perspective. And hey, you there? You had to check out for a second.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So I just my perspective, like I said on my TikTok, I believe that okay, I'm not matriarchal. I believe that especially with sons, Like I would have at about 7 or 8, I would have sent his son to him. I would have sent his son to him for grooming, for him to groom him in a way that only a man can, I believe, in my opinion. I don't know. The hip hop lifestyle is a very party hard lifestyle, but I do believe that it would have helped the child. And that's not with me putting down the mother at all, because she was there when when he didn't have anything. But relationships don't always work out, and you just got to look out for the kids. What's your perspective on that, she?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, he was always with him. I think up until like the age of 10, but I guess all that partying and dealing with women, she couldn't take it no more. But it's almost to a degree with fame, it comes all that comes with it, you know. So I was just talking to someone today about I think it was like Cardi B and her husband, and she lets him cheat, but she want to join in, or she want to be around and at least know about it, but he still sneaks off and do it. So it's like that comes with the territory, where if you don't want to be in that type of relationship, then you have to break up. But if you know you want the benefits, because I think they said to a degree, he was paying like $25,000 a month before they broke up. Then he started paying what the government was saying, 6,700 a month, and so he did it. I think a lump sum or something like that to a degree.
Yeah, he said he had to put in a put it in like an escrow account with the state of New York or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think they moved the baby mother and the son moved to Georgia or something, which was smart because, like I said, the money would go further than it would if you were in New York. In Georgia, it would go further. But yeah, so I didn't know that he was with him at the age of 10. Now, like I said, the party I've known, listen, I grew up in LA and I would go to different venues in Hollywood and different stuff like that. It's not always child friendly, you know. So I get it, but he had the money for not two what tutors and a nanny, and stuff like that. He could have got somebody good and trustworthy, but I just thought that he should have just kept custody, kind of uh like the movie Boys in the Hood, how the mother dropped the son off with the father, and it changed when he started getting out of hand. She saw that she couldn't, because a woman, the way a woman raises a son is a lot different, and sometimes there's a little bit too much nurturing. You're not giving them the tools they need to kind of fight in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, but I think that he should reconcile with his son. Absolutely. It really hurt his feelings when the son uh took a picture with the people responsible for shooting him. So that kind of, but they had been back and forth in the media prior to that, with the baby mama fight, and I don't know if she wanted more money or whatever, but you sometimes just can't be that greedy. You can't be too greedy. You got to take what you got and try to do something for yourself when you're not with the person. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think she took the payout because sometimes with rappers, sometimes you hot, sometimes you not. So with her taking the payout, it was a guaranteed thing that she was gonna get this money guaranteed until he turns 18 versus getting the regular money and then keep asking for more as his career grew. Because let's say like 50 would have ended up crashing and was broke by 5 years into his career. Like he would have never made Power. He would have never came out with a second or third album. And that was it. Cause most rappers they come out with one album and then they one and done. You
Yeah,
know,
they don't make it. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
It's a very fickle industry. Like you're here today, gone tomorrow. It's very few people have longevity. That you know what? Well, I've noticed that with musicians when they transition into acting, like you say a Will Smith or something like that, it's a lot more money. Acting is a lot more money, you know, than singing. Like you got a tour. Like Tyrese said, it's the music business is like a pimping business. You pay for the tour bus, you gotta pay for your dancers, or even that biopic of Tony Braxton, how she had to pay out of her pocket. She had to pay Mint Condition out of her pocket. I mean, they got her so bad. But I think movies are more lucrative for them, and being a producer and a writer is absolutely like Michael Jackson taught us that publishing is everything, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
Prince.
but
Prince did the same thing. Yeah,
huh?
I said Prince said the same thing. Like
Yeah,
publishing.
yeah.
Yeah,
And he still had to fight. Even that's why I say this thing with Kanye. There is nothing new. I mean, they've been doing this for, I mean, Sam Cooke for years and years and years. You know, it's not a new phenomenon having to fight with these folks for your intellectual property. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you want to know the truth of it, to me, Kanye's generation have it better than the ones back then. You know, because a lot of those guys signed contracts and they didn't know what the heck they were signing, you know, especially like the young rappers. Because a lot of those guys was from the hood, you know, they could barely read, especially a contract. They were just happy to get off the street and, oh, we can go. It's fun. 20 years old, they can go tour and it's girls everywhere, and we go into Europe and we see in the world. So it was easy to be taken advantage of. But
yeah.
yeah. So what's your perspective on this Kanye thing?
I don't think nothing's too much really wrong with him. It's just his message is kind of rough and it's harsh because it's like somebody telling the truth. If you direct and forward, they don't like that because it's one thing to say, you know, um, pardon me, I'm sorry, use like safe words, but just to be direct with it and be like, no, you don't do this, that, you don't talk to me this way. I want to do this, I want to do that. It's different. And see, and that's the whole thing. If you ain't in the system, then that means you're against the system. So a lot of those guys who go against the system, you know, it's a bad turnout for them. But to a degree, he's not doing anything wrong. Even with him getting dropped from all these companies, you got to look at this. With him getting dropped from the companies, that means he can start his own brand. With him being a household name, he don't need Adidas. All he needs is a manufacturer, which he can go overseas and get it. It's a guy I watch on YouTube. His name is Omi and the Hellcat. He's the guy, and this is a crazy story with him. He figured out a way to like scam copyrights. So with copyrights, the form of copyrights is so old and made to the degree he knew that the copyrights haven't been updated digitally wise. So with copying something and reselling it like a CD, that's against the law. But digitally, there's no rules against that. So all he did was redid the copyright to the point. Oh, oh man, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I just dropped my phone.
Oh,
I go get it. But yeah, I dropped it off my balcony. But
oh no.
yeah, it's good. It's in the case. But basically, what he did was he made a company called Reloaded and ended up selling that company for $50 million. And then he turned around, got into a situation where he got copyright infringement and all that. But this is what I'm talking about with Kanye. He started his own clothing company called Reloaded. And in return, with that clothing company, he ended up making shoes where he went directly to China and got a company in China to give him, a little deal for selling shoes. Then he turned around and started making his own clothes. So he set his own price to what he wanted to sell it and make it for. And people, you buying it on the principle of what he's selling for. You're not buying saying, well, I don't want to buy it because it's not on a Nike or a big name store. You're buying it because whatever he say the price is, because the people who follow him already know the type of person he is. So they're buying the brand just on the premise of his name. And that's Kanye. Kanye already has a name. So what do you need Nike for when you already have a name? That's like Jordan. When Jordan became so popular, I always say this. Nike knew if Jordan left to another company, he would have made another company rich. If he got that big to where he started his own brand, which they helped him do, that will make him rich. So why not take a piece of that pie? Nike was smart for helping Jordan start his own brand. With LeBron, they seen LeBron going towards the same thing. So they said, well, this is what we do. Instead of giving you your own brand, we'll just throw more money at you. Like LeBron last contract was $1 billion. No one's ever got $1 billion deal for a shoe contract. So he
Yeah.
set the tone there.
Oh, go
Go ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you finished. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying he just set the tone there to where nobody else got a deal like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I was, in my opinion, I kind of reiterated with what Russell Simmons told Kanye. I felt like it's not necessary. We ain't got to go and tell these people what we think about them. We done made money off of them. Now we gonna take our money, and I'm all about self ownership. Oh, Chase don't like you. It's like 30 black owned banks around here. You can start your own credit union. It's not that difficult to start a credit union. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Um, Killer Mike out there with you in Georgia, they were doing
Yeah.
something with Greenwood Bank. So
Yeah.
and they got a lot less resources than Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like kind of move in silence and do your chess moves, because you never want to know, let your enemy know what you're doing. Nipsey, the reason why people love Nipsey, see, I wasn't out here when Nipsey was big. I was back in Louisiana. But the reason why people loved him so much, because he did so much in the short time he was here. Even my own mother, who's worked with foster kids for probably like the last 25, 30 years, uh, she he was gonna try to get her a house, since she was working with foster kids. This Nipsey. So this
Yeah.
is, and his money is ain't even as long by a long shot as Kanye money. You know what I mean? So I just felt like it's not like, what to me, maybe because I'm older, maybe he need to tell school of young people, but the young people look like they woke. They got a lot more information than what we had back when we was their age. But to me, I felt like he should be moving in silence. Get your money. When we sitting at the table, we enemies. We know we enemies. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let me get my money and let me funnel it into the ventures that I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's just me.
he's more direct, so he's not gonna, play the games and do all that stuff. Kanye is more direct, so he's
Yeah,
gonna go pretty much at him.
yeah. What he's saying is not wrong in terms of that. There were some things he said about black folks that I don't agree with, but um,
But
yeah, but
that was to the
that's
degree of controversy to me,
huh.
and that's how I look at it. It was more or less to the degree of controversy where he's getting the conversation because that's the thing that I always tell people about Kevin Samuels. I say whether you like him or not, the conversation gets started on the premise of what he said, and then we go from there. So if you say Kanye was wrong for what he said, okay, well I disagree. I think he was right. Let's have the conversation. See, a lot of people they don't start with that, like having that talk. They just automatically point the finger. And if he's wrong, let's change the conversation. Let's make it to where your viewpoint is better or right than the situation of just pointing the finger at him. Because we can keep saying that someone's wrong, someone's bad, someone's wrong, someone's bad, but it ends with that. Because as a point, if you say he's wrong, well, how is he wrong? And then let's make it right. How do you make it right? Because you're so focused on him being wrong, you're not to the degree of making things right. So it's bad on both sides of both parties.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, well, for me, I can differentiate and I can separate when you see, for me, it's all about what you're doing. That's my channel, Community Solutions. For me, it's like, what are you doing? We may not agree on every topic, but what is the outcome of what you're doing with the uh the resources you have, and things like that. That's more important to me. We don't have to agree. That's fine. And that's why I say I could sit at the table with enemies. If I'm sitting at the table with Adidas or and by the way, Russell made a good point. Run DMC, Adidas was going bankrupt before they put my Adidas out there, Run DMC. So that just goes to show you the the cachet and the influence that we can have. And one brother was like, "Oh, well, Skechers, all that, nobody's gonna carry." I say the malls are closing anyway. I say everybody's doing stuff online. I say, how you think Amazon got so big? They stuff is they only just recently opening up little satellite stores, but it's still mostly delivery. Oh man, I lost him. But anyway, I'm gonna send out the link again. I think that he dropped his phone, so he might have tried to go get it. But yeah, so I just think that in the long run, from what I could see, I really hope that 50 Cent and his son patch things up, because he is his heir. Oh, there you go. Okay. Oops, I'm trying to unmute you. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. So I forgot what my thought. I'm getting old. Can't keep a thought.
You were
But
talking
anyway,
about
no. I
relationships
just I
and
feel like if I'm sitting at the table with Chase Bank and all these other folks, Adidas and all of them, when it's time for when our time is no longer and our contract is not serving me, then okay, I'll get up. I don't need to insult you. I'm gonna take this money and funnel it back to the people that you know what I mean, like the other communities do. You know what I mean? So everybody does it. I go pass through going to work. I pass through Koreatown all the time. They got all the stuff in their language. Everything that they need is right there in their community.
yeah, that's why I always talk about with Alonzo when he be talking about the life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people, he always say like the other communities, especially the Jewish, they put big life insurance on the elders and just pay it till they die and put it in the trust to where everybody get paid out.
Yep.
We don't trust each other to do that.
No. We fight too much. We fight too much. Yep. Even income property. We had income property in our family for everybody when my aunt was alive. She was from the generation, she was born in the 20s. For everybody to always have a place to stay. And when she died, you should have seen them fighting. And that's why you see a lot of homeless people now. A lot of these folks don't need to be homeless. I mean, uh, they didn't have to be homeless if you know the right thing was done with the real estate.
Because they
But
quick to
it's
sell Big Mama's house, they quick to sell Mom and Dad house, and they out of luck in the end because they don't have no property to stay. That's my brother was talking to his friend. His friend had a house from his grandmother. He tried to sell the house, but he had a condo in downtown, which he's paying $1,500 a month. The house was paid off, and he was like, "Well, it needs some work done to it." And my brother was like, "Why would you sell a paid off house to keep making payments?" He's like, "Yeah, you'll make some money, but he's like, over time, if you do the math, it's the same money that you're paying into this condo that you can be renovating this house and make it better, and you can
hmm
pass it down to your kids."
right,
Yeah.
right. And then with condos, like my client has a condo here, West Hollywood, $1 million condo, always breaking down. They just had to have major plumbing. Now they got to do the drywall. Now there's leaking. And you know what? I think about that $1 million complex in what those places with $1 million in Florida that pancaked on top of each other and collapsed. I think about that. Do you remember that? That structure in Florida, and it just collapsed on. I don't know. It might have been like 10 or 12 floors, and it just collapsed on top of each other, and all those
Yeah, I
people
remember that.
were killed. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was
and
crazy.
those were $1 million condos.
Yep.
So Big Mama House, just keep Big Mama House up. Don't be crying about gentrification, and you done sold it. And they come in, go spend a few $1,000s at Lowe's, fix it up, put some countertops and some new bathroom fixtures, and then they make a mint off of it, and you mad. No, don't be mad. Don't be mad because it didn't make any sense for you to sell it, you know. But yeah, so that's what I want to touch on. What's going on out there with you and the insurance and everything?
Uh, Pretty much for the most part, I ain't in insurance. I drive trucks, but I always talk about it and try to get people focused in on it because my thing, like my grandparents, even my great grandma, she always told the whole family, like everybody in the family had life insurance. So she always said you don't want to be a burden to nobody,
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. And even if
Yeah.
it's only $10,000, it's good enough to bury yourself. But like with my uncle, he passed. He had a little more to try to leave towards my twins, and then like with me, I'm doing the same thing. I'm leaving a little more to twins, my wife, because I told her I was like, well, my income, if I ever die, something happened to me, I mean, 10,000 is gonna be enough for burying me. I ended up getting $100,000 policy. Then I turned around and got a $300,000 policy. Then I got the twins there on policy. My wife has her policy that I'm paying on, and it's just to the degree like if anything ever happens, like 100,000 is nothing due to inflation. 100,000 is like the next 50 or maybe $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I tell people like you can have $1 million right now. $1 million in 1980 is a lot of money. $1 million in 2022 is probably like seven to half a mil. It's not as much, due to
Mm-hmm.
everything. Back in the day, you had in the 80s, gas was like less than $1 probably. Now gas is what $4, three and a half, $3. Like I think we had $3 down here, but in most places it's still high, $4 or $5. So due to inflation, you gotta look at your significant other paying for gas. They have to continue paying the bills or possibly pay the house off. Still, you got to pay the
Mm-hmm.
utilities. So, and then you got the
Property
mourning
taxes.
phase.
Yep.
Yep. And then the
Mm-hmm.
mourning phase, the mourning of them losing a significant other, they might don't want to work for 6 months. Or what if
Yeah.
they want to start a business? The money will be there for them to do that. But if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have it, they would have to what was it, about a week or two of grieving. That's their vacation time right there. So they
Yep.
grieve during the time that you pass. Now they can't go on vacation or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So
Mm-hmm.
they gotta constantly work. So
Yep. And a
you
lot of
gotta think
companies
about
only give you like 2 or 3 days to grieve, and that's for immediate family. But I also want to anybody who run across this video and listeners, long-term care insurance is very important to get to. That's the insurance where you get a home health aide or you go to rehab. My preference is to be taken care of at home. Going to rehab is when you go in there and the nurse got 30 patients. So I want to reiterate that you get that at about maybe 50 years old or so, long-term care insurance. And if your job obviously take it, and also disability, long-term disability and short-term disability. When I was EMT, I dislocated my back and my knee, and I could have used that disability insurance. It pays a portion of your uh, income, your salary, if you should get injured. And sometimes the short term will kick in, I think, within 30 days, and the long term can even, depending on how injured you are, it could take you all the way to retirement. But those are very important insurances to that I knew nothing about at the time that I got hurt. Those are very important insurances to look into. And
Yeah.
working with these elderly people, I work with people who amassed a fortune. Here they got this property in LA when it was hardly nothing, but now that they old, they didn't get on long-term care insurance, so their caregivers, the salary for their caregivers is eaten through their assets. So that's something to bear in mind, as you have aging parents, or even the Asian parents, you get the long-term care insurance if you have to take care of them, or your sister or brother, sibling or cousin or whoever, if they need a job, you can provide a job for them through the long-term care insurance. They can work for you, and you can keep Big Mama and Pop at home, where they have more of a chance to have a quality of life in their last days. So that's something to consider as well as life insurance.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
what another somebody in this space, I don't want to say their name, but they had like divorce insurance, and I never knew about that. And I was
Hmm.
like, wow, divorce insurance? And they was like, yeah, I had the divorce insurance. A situation happened, and I was able to use the divorce insurance to, restart or set my life, better than what it was, because you traumatized, or you're in a situation to where, you're dealing always with two incomes. So when
Mm-hmm.
you downgrade, that means, it's one income. Let's see if the kids are still there. You got to still provide for all those kids. Child support, to a
Yep.
degree, is really, it don't pay as much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
child support for 2 and 3 kids, and let's say you get like $1,200 a month. To a degree, that takes care of some of the food, but then you
Mm-hmm.
got to put extra on the utilities because you're not by yourself, and then the
Mm-hmm.
kids need like school supplies, clothes, things of that nature. So
Yep.
to a degree, it's child support is not really enough. And even with another one, Alonzo told me about, I didn't know I had this on my insurance. It's living something insurance, to where if you get hurt, depending on like if you get cancer or something, you can get up to 75% of your life insurance, and use that while you're living to take care of bills and things. Because I mean, if it's that crucial, you're gonna die anyway to a
Mm-hmm.
degree most of the time, and so you can take up to 75% of your life insurance to get your affairs in order.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Right now, my main interest is the long-term care insurance. I'm getting to the age where I just look at the long-term care insurance, and because I don't have children, and well, not so much disability. I have a few years left, but I'm not doing hard work anymore like I used to. But it's still good to have. But you can, a lot of times, disability insurance is offered through your employment, you know. But that long term care, that I've seen that end of life care eat right through people, eat through $1 million quick. I'm talking about people with wealth. You know what I mean? Because these folks, I work in West Hollywood now. I got a job in Palos Verdes. That's where uh, that's a wealthy area too. Um, houses in the hills, like mansion type houses, and it could eat through. You've amassed this fortune, and then the property taxes here, because the property has gone up so much. It's so expensive. It's like I don't even know how rich people keep up. You know what I mean? If you're old and you made your money back in the day, uh, and your your property tax might start out being 5,000. Now your property taxes is 2 million a year. I don't know, but that's you know I guess that's for the higher level thinking people, because I can't even imagine getting up in age and having hospital bills and different ailments and things that you try to keep up. It's very difficult.
Yeah, a lot of them have investment properties. I deal with this one guy. He had a quadplex, and he ended up selling that for 1.2 million. And
Mm,
then he has his own home. He's gonna sell for 700,000, and he's gonna downsize to like a condo downtown Atlanta. and then he's gonna buy him a house in Florida. So for the cold months, he's gonna go down to Florida, and for the warmer months, he might stay up here. I mean, for the warmer months, he might stay up in Atlanta and just go
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. But he had a house. I don't know if he said he still has a house in Cali, because I know he was renting out and everything because he was staying out there for a minute. And
Mm.
he started making his money just doing real estate. He said he buys distressed properties and flip them, or he'll
Mm-hmm.
just build condos from scratch. He built,
Mm-hmm.
I think 16 units in Kentucky because it was so cheap out there,
Mm-hmm.
and so he sold all those units at one time to a developer. So people like that, that's what they do with their money they made it back in the day. They constantly making passive income to where they won't have to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a smart thing to do, I tell you, because just trying to keep up. But that's why I'm looking at what small town I'm gonna retire in, so it's affordable for me. You know what I mean? I can get a little work from home job, or maybe perhaps teach or something. I don't know, but I don't want to be in a big city trying to fight, and then the crime will get worse and worse because it's so expensive for people. And you know, but yeah, so that's what my plan is. I'm looking at smaller areas or cheaper areas, or even distressed cities. I actually liked Baltimore when I visited Baltimore. I went there for a conference, but I was able to visit the city, and people were really nice. I got family in Michigan. I have to learn what to do in snow. I've never lived in where it snows, you know. But yeah, because Cali will kill you trying to keep up out here, for real.
Yeah,
Yep. So.
and it's like with those small towns, you can do a lot of remote
Mm-hmm.
jobs now to the point
That's what I
where
plan on doing. Yeah, I've taken some courses and some things, medical coding, and you know, and then also some. I have some other interests and things I want to do. So as far as like learning, I need to learn how to market. Like if I decide I want to sell T-shirts or little not phone cases or mugs or whatever, and I need to learn how to put that on where it is seen by a lot of people. Um,
yeah, a
and
lot
that's
of the
passive income. Hmm?
yeah, a lot of the Instagram, they can help you with that. YouTube, a lot of people do have videos on YouTube because they're starting to do the videos on YouTube because mainly their Instagram are getting big. So when they
Mm-hmm.
sell courses, they typically refer to YouTube videos which they made and send them on the courses. So you'll be done paid for something that they had free, where you could just did the research yourself. Um, I watch Erica Williams. She talks about a lot of that stuff. Um, a lot of those, what is it? HD Gates and Alibaba. They have
Mm-hmm.
those stuff, and a lot of people sell them on Amazon. But the thing about Amazon, I think you got to pay like 40% to them to store it in their warehouse, and they ship it and all that. But you have some websites to where I've been talking to my friend. He found a website to where as long as he designed it on what is it called, Shopify, where you
Mm-hmm.
build your store,
Mm-hmm.
and they have warehouses that you can store the stuff in. And when the people buy it, they just send you an email referring to they buy your products, and all you got to do is just make sure the people send it out. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time they typically send you emails when they send that stuff out. So it's a pretty good connection between some of those. So it's all
Yeah.
about like your
Mm-hmm.
relations
Mm-hmm.
with the stores.
Yeah. Yeah. I was also looking at different little hobbies like candle making. I need to get some hobbies. Candle
Hey,
making, quilting, but that's for time. I don't have time right now. I'm still hustling. I'm trying to get
yeah,
to where my phase, where the like slow down life phase, like my that phase hasn't come for me yet. I'm ready for that phase where I'm slowing down in life.
yeah. I'm buying one of
I
those
don't have
candle
a
making
house yet to
tables.
do a garden, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Aging healthily and having my little hobbies. Maybe go to different conferences and sell my little whatever I'm making, and just chilling in life. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah, Epsi's is big on that. I'm actually gonna buy my son's a candle maker and turf. I think it's described as a turf gun, but they
Mm-hmm.
also has it as a rug gun. So I've been watching a lot of Instagram where people make rugs,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm thinking about doing that because it's typically easy. You don't even have to know how to draw. You just get a
Mm-hmm.
projector, cut off the lights, project the image on the mat, draw it out, label the colors, and then just sew the colors into it. And then when you're done, you gotta shave it down and do a little extra clipping. But it's on Instagram. If you look up like rugs, rug making and stuff like that on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those people do that, and it looks quite easy. So I'm
Yeah.
looking probably by Christmas to buy one of those guns and to buy a candle maker by Christmas for my son. So I've been trying to get them in different business. One of my sons, he was selling. They had last year. They had a career day to where entrepreneur day, and my son was selling poppets, the little toys that the kids like, and he
Mm-hmm.
sold out. I
Yeah.
think I
Well,
bought
there you
him.
go.
And
There
then the
you
other
go.
son, he sold because I got twins. So the other one, he
Mm-hmm.
sold books, and his books didn't do as well. Kids ain't really too big on that, but
Mm-hmm.
he did sell enough books to make some money. I think he made about the first time he sold it, he sold out for about $70. Then the second time he came back, I think he sold only about 50. Like no, it was like 20 or 30. But my other son, who was selling those poppets, the first time he sold out at 80, then the second time he came back and sold out at 80 again. So he's making good money. And I was buying
That's
those
good.
poppets for like $1.25,
Mm-hmm.
and he was selling them for $3 and $5. So I told him when it started getting slow and it's about to end and they're about to close, I was like, sell them for $3, and people you'll sell out. And so that's what he did, and he sold majority of his stuff.
That's cool. And another thing with the young people now is everything is digital, which I think is why probably Toys R Us went out of business. See, when we were coming up, you had to use your imagination, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, and be creative and play. But now kids is all about tablets, and if I ask my nieces or whatever, what they want is the latest phone, the latest tablet, and that's it. So I think a lot of what they're into now is digital, maybe games and stuff like that, like coming up with gaming concepts and stuff like that. So that looks like what is I like the physical aspect of hobbies for kids, and businesses like cutting grass is never gonna go out of style. People are always gonna need their grass cut, and they come in. The little kids come up, they so cute, and people so happy to see them not in trouble. They happy to give out, and you come up and cut my yard. I'm happy to give you money to cut my yard. You know what I mean? It's an honest little business. It's keeping them out of trouble. Um, and But that seems to be what the kids are into now is digital items, digital products that they can do on their tablets and stuff. Like I bought jewelry making and all kind of stuff for my nieces, and they wouldn't. They play with it a little bit, and then they get bored and go back to the tablet. So they can do TikTok and stuff on the tablet and stuff. But I don't know, it's different now. And because I don't have kids, I haven't caught been able to keep up with what they're into now. But that's what it seems to be going with now. So.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of kids they more digital. My
Mm-hmm.
sons they that way with my one of my twins. They want a iPhone, and I was like, nope, no iPhone till you get your grades right. So
Mm-hmm.
I know it's gonna be a while for them to make all A's. So I set them a
Mm-hmm.
standard. I was like, if you get all A's, I get you the brand new iPhone. So that's I told him that's 2 years. So if he does
Yeah.
it, then that's better for him and better for me.
Mm-hmm.
I go ahead and pay that money because that's how I was. But I got the short end of the stick. I was told that if I get all A's, I got all A's like 2 years in a row, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even get like the stuff I wanted. and all I wanted was a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these kids now they want the
Yeah,
world.
oh, big money, big money.
Yeah,
I'm walking around here with a little phone. They laugh at my phone. I said, it's okay. You don't want to steal it, so that works for me. Yeah, it does what I need to do. I can hit my app. I can make a call. I can do what I need to do on my phone. So
yeah,
the fact that it's not highfalutin, that's fine.
yeah. Cause
But
my wife, she still got like she got the S8, and she just like that little phone. So when
mhm,
I went up buying my phone, I bought the Note 20, like like 2 years ago. I bought the Note 20, and I was
mhm,
like, they had a special where you get the Note 20 Ultra and the Note 20 regular for like discount price. So I asked her, I was like, "You want it?" And I bought her the phone. She's like, "No, I like my old phone." But she ended up dropping the phone in the water while washing dishes. So I
mm.
ended up going to a pawn shop and just finding it for like 100 I think it was $150, and it was unlocked. So I just switched it over, and she's been using that phone ever since.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you how much my phone was, but it was cheap. It's a
Yeah,
Samsung, and
yeah,
like I say, I like it. It's very quick and useful. I haven't loaded it up with pictures and videos yet, but it I like it. So,
yeah.
well,
Only get
Sheed,
the job.
anything else you want to talk about today that's of topic of interest to you?
Nah, I mean, as it stands, like with Marquise, I seen that they had to sit down and talk, but I think with that guy, like he put on his picture, he's entitled. Like he's came up on a celebrity, so he's like, why I'm not famous, or why I can't do this, or why I can't do that. He needs to focus more on his career because his dad made his bones, and since he didn't want to be around his dad, like why? And I always say this: if you don't want to deal with me, don't take my money. Even with divorce, when most people get
Mm-hmm.
divorces, they don't want to deal with that person, but they'll take their money. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
his son. His son don't want nothing to do with him, but he's complaining about getting 6,700 a month in child support. And he's like this. He's this hot artist, and he's this hot movie producer, and he's still taking care of him at 25. Like he's literally still helping him out, giving his kid money. Like he don't have to do that. Even with I think it was one situation where it was a shoe store going out of business in New York. He bought all the shoes, took the shoes, gave them to his son. His son flipped the shoes, made money, but that was it. He didn't like kind of re up and buy more because he was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, my dad bought this, he'll buy more. He's like, no, that was your job to sell the shoes and get more money.
Yeah, and he has so many things that he's working on. I mean, why not? Why are you not going to writing workshops and learning how to produce and stuff to so that you can work on the shows? Like you think he wouldn't give you an opportunity? He would love for you to do that. Well, that's why I say I'm really not against 50 Cent like talking about it because there can be a level of entitlement and spoiledness with children of celebrities, children of wealthy people. I've seen it because they didn't have to grow up hard like the parents did. You know, they had to sweat blood to try to get it going. And the kids just kind of live in lavish luxury. That's all they've ever known. They never had to be hungry, you know. But that's what you know. At this point, 25 is that's kind of old to be um, acting like that. I mean, you can try to get a relationship or try to foster a relationship. But he's done some things too. Like I say, taking pictures with the enemy of people who shot him and stuff like that. That's pretty serious. But he can reconcile because they still blood at the end of the day. But can't be doing stuff like that. So, but yeah. So that's that on that, I guess, with 50. Um, and he's given Monique a chance. Kanye blew him out of the water and say, "No, 50 Cent helping me with my school." And 50 was like, well, "I'm trying to do that quietly." See, you can't let your enemy know what you're doing, Kanye. You gotta, move in silence a little bit so you can get some things done. Like a lot of the stuff that Prince did, nobody ever knew until after he died. You know, I didn't know he took care of Lauren Hill's kids while she was locked up for taxes and all these other things he did. And I think that's the wise way to do it, because then nobody can get in your way and make it hard for you to do that and stuff like that. So, but well, I enjoyed talking to you. When you going live again?
I don't know. I'm gonna see because I mostly try to go live in the mornings, but I've been changing my schedule around. I've been getting to work earlier, so that means I have to start going live early, which everybody be still asleep because I get up sometime 5 in the morning now. So if I get there, I normally try to go live like 8 o'clock or something like that, right before Gold Professor goes live. But I don't know. I think I'll probably do something this weekend.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna check in with you. I work this weekend, but I can log in, while I'm at work, and provided I ain't got a client that needs too much done. I can log in and kind of check in with you. That's what I usually do. Hit a like, and just check in with you later. You
All
know.
right then.
All right, Sheila. Thank you so much for joining me. Anytime. You're most welcome to come up and chit chat with me and help me flush out my thoughts, because you're very insightful. And Community Solutions, I want it to be a place where we share information. Information is power.
Yep.
So, and knowledge is power. So, all right, she. Well, listen, you take care, man, and I'll check in. I'll check in on you later.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Well, y'all, thank you for checking in on me and my thoughts on what's going on in this popular culture. This is a microcosm of the father-son relationships in our community, which need work. And I hope everything works out with 50 and his son, um, and also with Kanye as well. Kanye, stop. If you run across this video by some billion chance, um, stop telling people what you think and just make moves. If you're doing business with enemy, business is war. You're doing business with enemy, just do what you need to do, make your money, and go put it where you want it to go and to make a difference. And that's how you do that. But anyway, with Community Solutions, it's one love, prosper, and be in good health.